You know what's strange? I have not talked about Universal Orlando in a while. The last time I did was like 6 months ago. I was talking about Velocicoaster, and during that time, Velocicoaster wasn't even confirmed to be called Velocicoaster. Now in the present, we know that name all too well. I despise the name Velocicoaster. It sounds terrible, almost as bad as Decepticoaster, which is another ride going to Universal Beijing. But I digress. Velocicoaster, I can't wait to ride, even though it's gonna open in like 2 months. I'm going in a week at the time of recording, so I'm not gonna get the chance to ride. And it's gonna be quite a bit till I go back to Florida. At least I'll get the chance to see Velocicoaster. I'm glad I can try and be optimistic about the situation. However, now I want you to think about a hypothetical scenario, like what if Velocicoaster wasn't going to open? Will Universal still be getting a lot of attention? The answer is a resounding hell yes. In the last 4 years alone, they got a new ride every season. 2016, they got Reign of Kong. 2017, Jimmy Fallon. 2018, they got Fast and Furious. Yeah, that f***ing ride. What a grand piece of 2019, though, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter got Hagrids Magical Creatures Super Long Name Motorbike Adventure. When this opened to the public, it was greeted with 12-hour lines, along with being known as the coaster with the most launches. However, I think that detail is pretty insignificant when you look at everything else Hagrid's has in store. This coaster is phenomenally themed. Story-driven by animatronics, features elements like a drop track, reverse launch, rapid-fire switch track. The coaster is a buffet of positivity. With a price tag of over $300 million. $300 million! Universal, they have no concept of money. They're investing as much as they can. I didn't even mention the third theme park coming to the resort. Universal's Epic Universe is going to be the most expensive theme park ever built. Slated for an opening date at about 2024, I believe. It all depends on construction, which thankfully it resumed over a week ago, and after a long delay they need as much time as possible. Like Velocicoaster, I hate the name. I mean, come on, Universal's Epic Universe. Don't tell me that name's creative, because it's not. It's really not. Still, I can't wait to experience it when it opens. I know from the beginning of this video I'm just telling you how big Universal's wallet is. I'm just trying to establish a pattern of what it's like when Universal invests in a new attraction, and how them investing in a massive roller coaster is out of character. And when I say massive roller coaster, I'm not referring to Hagrid's or Escape from Gringotts. No. I'm borderline talking about coasters like Incredible Hulk, Velocicoaster, Battlestar Galactica, projects that are meant for thrill junkies and not for the average family. Now, before I go any further, you're probably thinking, Jake, you're an idiot. Universal has always done this practice. Just in 2016, they got Flying Dinosaur at Universal Japan. To that, I would say, yeah, you're absolutely right. Universal has for sure invested in large coasters their entire lifetime in the industry. I just think now that in today's standards, it's kind of weird. Universal is like Disney. They make rides that are groundbreaking, revolutionary, themed to an executive level. If you look at these roller coasters, not exactly the same scenario. Can they theme the queue and station well? Definitely. At least until you get on the ride. Here's where the theming category gets bland. It's difficult theming a coaster of this caliber the entire duration of the ride. Sure, there are rides out there that can master this technique. Terran, Fly, Black Mamba, pretty much any coaster at Phantasialand. Universal is getting better. Velocicoaster is a prime example. You got the queue, you got the station. There's gonna be a pre-show right before the first launch. So far, that's an A+ in my book. Then the first half is in the paddock pen, with a stellar scenery and landscaping. That is what I consider great theming. Until you hit the second launch, go into the top hat. Then the rest of the ride just kind of abandons all theming. Sure, maybe scenic going across the water, but it's no different from Incredible Hulk. Now, I'm not trying to gripe about Velocicoaster and sound like a spoiled, entitled enthusiast. No, I'm just saying if you compare these coasters to the rest of the attractions at Universal, it doesn't exactly meet their gold standard. Which, you know, I get. It's hard to theme a coaster going at 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. At that speed, you can't take in every detailed aspect. The best way we can support this theory is if we focus on Hagrid's. Because for that ride, in order for you to take in every show scene element, they had to constantly speed up and slow down the ride so you could take in every section. Imagine going through this part but at 3 times the speed. Not effective. For a major roller coaster that's meant to be consistent, it would not be a feasible venture. So now we know why Universal, they can't exactly theme these coasters the way they may want to. However, it doesn't explain why they're a consistent investment. To answer this question, I do feel we have to go back to 1990, the year when Universal Orlando opened. Because if you know the opening year of Universal, then you also understand that it wasn't the best year per se. Because keep in mind, Universal, they weren't big on theme parks in this time. This was their first major installation. So it doesn't help when Disney has almost a complete monopoly on the Orlando market. It's bad enough Universal was new, but now they had to go against a chain that was considered the best of the best. Disney is always considered the elite place to go to. Almost every every park was compared to Disney. In fact, Six Flags, their slogan back in the day was why go to Disney when Six Flags is right here.
A trip to Six Flags or Disneyland. No matter where you live, there's one nearby. Plus, you get home in time to feed your dog. Six Flags theme parks. Bigger, faster, closer.
A motivation like this is really sad when you think about it. So Universal, they had to do well in this division. That's why 1990 was such a blow to them. That year, the tourists have spoken, as they left disappointed from Universal. The main issue with the park was how most of the attractions, they were not operational, and or they just didn't open. Including but not limited to Earthquake, Confrontation, Jaws. They suffered a lot of technical problems that wasn't resolved till the following year. This publicity didn't suit them. If tourists are coming to Florida for a vacation, they're not going to go to a theme park that was discredited the opening year. They're gonna go to a different park, a Disney park, maybe one that opened just 1 year earlier. Yeah, in case you didn't know, MGM Hollywood Studios opened 1 year prior to Universal, and right out of the gate, it was positively reviewed. When you compared each park during their opening years, Universal just looked like the knockoff place, and you can't deny that. People just went to MGM until Universal got their act together. Later, they got Back to the Future, E.T., Men in Black, some iconic properties that built up the park, which led to their second park in Orlando, Islands of Adventure. This park was themed after literature, so each section would be based off a book or a series. At opening, they would have 2 major attractions that would catch the eye of the public. Before I mention that, I want to say how it's funny that Disney opened a park again 1 year before Universal opened theirs. That was Animal Kingdom in 1998. So once again, Universal, they had a follow-up after Disney opened their park. To make sure history wouldn't repeat itself, they introduced Incredible Hulk and Dueling Dragons, both B&M coasters, and both very well praised. Roller coasters around this time were pretty scarce in Florida. SeaWorld didn't get cracking until 2000. Busch Gardens was still building their collection. Of course, they did have Montu and Kumba, which were the exact same models as Incredible Hulk and Dueling Dragons. However, Universal, they made these two different enough so you can't directly compare them. It wasn't too long till supply and demand met, when Universal would start churning out coasters for the next 25 years. Universal Japan, they got Hollywood Dream, that went well, especially with the onboard audio. Then carried that concept over for Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, and if that wasn't enough, Universal is still doing the tradition of having a major coaster unveiled at a new park's opening. 2010, Universal Singapore got Battlestar Galactica, but that didn't go as well as the others. Universal Beijing, though, they're getting Decepticoaster, which is a clone of Incredible Hulk. By all means, these major coasters are a quick way to boost attendance, and I do mean quick. Some projects, they take maybe 5 years to build. These types of coasters are typically 1 to 2 years of construction. So as long as the public is still interested, these rides will be a continuous investment strategy, and one day encouraging Universal to up the intensity. And what do you know, we're already seeing this. Well, that's all I have for you guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, all the fun YouTube stuff that would make me happy. Thank you for watching some GAC entertainment, and I will see you next time.